He died with my name on his tongue. The monitor flatlined before he could finish the sentence, before the universe could decide whether I deserved to know. I remember the smell of antiseptic, the faint rattle in his throat, the weight of his hand clawing at mine. "You're not your mother's son," he'd rasped. "I kidnapped you in 1992 from—" Silence. The nurse pried his fingers off me and offered a plastic bag of his belongings. A wallet, a watch, a folded newspaper clipping, yellowed by decades. I almost didn't look, but the headline pulled me in. "Wealthy couple's son vanishes. Search expands nationwide." The photo was of a toddler with the same eyes I saw in the mirror every morning. The name printed beneath it was Daniel Whitmore. I didn't breathe for a full minute. Growing up, I thought I'd done something terrible to deserve the way he treated me. The bruises, the cold silences, the endless drills of obedience. "You're lucky I took you in," he used to say. "Ungrateful boys end up in the system." He'd lock me in the basement for hours to think about respect. I thought respect meant survival. When I was 12, he married my mother, or rather, the woman I believed was my mother. She wasn't cruel, just absent. He made sure she stayed that way. And when my half-brother, Nathan, was born, I became invisible. At 17, I left and never looked back. For 15 years, I built a life from the ashes of his control. Quiet, steady, anonymous. I taught myself restraint, how to speak softly, how to disappear in plain sight. But his shadow always followed, whispering that I'd never be enough. Then came the call. The old bastard was dying. Out of obligation, or maybe masochism, I went. I thought closure was a myth. Turns out it was just delayed. After the funeral, I found myself alone in his study, surrounded by the smell of leather and dust. I knew he'd hidden things. He'd always been meticulous. Every lie had a folder, every secret a key. The will had already made headlines, his entire $31 million estate to Nathan. Not a cent for me. No surprise. I thought that was the final insult, until I found the safe. It was behind the painting of a shipwreck, poetic in hindsight. Inside were documents, old passports, forged birth certificates, photos of me as a child in unfamiliar places, a driver's license under another name. And letters from the Whitmore family, begging for their son's return, offering rewards, threatening legal action. The last letter was dated a year before he adopted me. He'd stopped replying. That was when something inside me clicked. The grief, the anger, the confusion, all of it hardened into precision. He took my life. I would take his legacy. I spent the next 6 months constructing the truth like a weapon. I hired a genealogist to confirm the DNA, quietly, privately. When the results came, they weren't just confirmation, they were validation. I was Daniel Whitmore. Next, I studied Nathan, my half-brother, the golden son. He'd inherited not just the estate, but the arrogance that came with it. He ran my stepfather's company into the ground and posted his wealth online like a badge of birthright. I watched, waited. I approached the Whitmores anonymously at first, an attorney representing a potential lead in their long, cold case. Their grief hadn't aged, it had just calcified into silence. When I finally revealed the truth, they didn't believe me, not at first. But DNA doesn't lie. Within weeks, they wanted justice. I wanted something sharper. Together, we drafted a strategy. I wouldn't need to expose him publicly, not yet. Instead, I'd let the truth dismantle him from the inside. The first move was subtle. The Whitmore's lawyers filed a claim challenging the will, citing criminal conduct and identity fraud. The story leaked. Reporters swarmed. Nathan panicked. He called me. I let it ring the first 3 times before answering. "You did this," he said. "You're trying to steal everything Dad built." "Not steal," I said. "Reclaim." He laughed, the same sharp, condescending tone his father used. "You think anyone will believe you?" "They already do." I hung up. By the end of the week, the company's stock plummeted. Investors fled. Legal fees piled up. The mansion, the one I grew up cleaning while Nathan played video games, went up for sale to cover debts. He didn't even see the final blow coming. I scheduled the press conference under the Whitmore's foundation. Cameras, lights, the missing child returned home. A human interest story turned reckoning. Nathan arrived mid-broadcast, red-eyed, trembling. "You're lying!" he shouted. I met his gaze and smiled, calm, measured. "You're standing in a house that was bought with ransom money." Gasps, murmurs. The camera stayed on him, not me. I let silence do what years of screaming never could. Later, when the headlines ran, "Kidnapped heir returns, family's fortune under investigation," I didn't feel triumph. I felt balance. The Whitmores offered me their world, everything I'd been denied. But I didn't take it. I didn't need their wealth. I'd already taken what I came for, the truth, his name, and the satisfaction of watching his empire rot under the weight of his sins. Sometimes at night, I replay that final moment in the hospital. The way his eyes flickered with fear, not guilt. Like he knew death was coming for him, but not from where. He stole my identity. I turned his into a crime scene. Justice isn't loud. It's quiet, surgical. It doesn't need applause or witnesses, just patience. And now, every time I look in the mirror, I whisper the name he tried to erase. Daniel Whitmore. The name was mine all along.